And now it's time for Houston's hottest relationship advice talk show, Love in Black with Tory and Teri. This show is sponsored in part by Gracie's on Kirby in Houston, Texas, and the Carrabba's Family Restaurants. And now your hosts, Tory and Teri.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Love in Black with Tory and Teri. We're so thankful that you guys are joining us again.
Yes, good morning, beautiful people. So glad to have you with us. We're getting ready to share this morning. There's a lot to say.
We do have a lot to say, and we have a special guest with us as well. But we do want to start out the show by showing some love to our sponsor and our affiliates.
We must
do that. Our first sponsor is Gracie's Restaurant.
Gracie's
in Houston.
Yes.
So make sure you guys go there and eat, and you may even see us there.
I know, right?
We eat there a lot.
That's a thought.
So, and also, don't forget we're brand ambassadors for Armor of God Boutique.
Yes, we got some t-shirts coming.
Yeah. And also Black Christian Influencers. So we're brand ambassadors for both of those groups.
Oh, and
then we have our my wife's special affiliate,
they are dear to
Valencia
me.
Couture.
Valencia Couture has done a lot of my gowns, so yeah, they're great.
I say that right?
Yes, you did. You did good.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
I know, right? You got it. So remember, if you want to be a sponsor, advertiser, be a guest on the show, go to our website, Love in Black with Tory, Tory, and Teri, Teri.com.
Yeah. Hey, also, we want to thank our listening audience for all the shout outs, the letters, and the well wishes that we've been receiving.
Yes.
We really appreciate your support. And to the young lady, I'm not going to say her name, but to the young lady that called us this week and said that, one, she wasn't even aware that praise was back on the air.
Oh, yeah? Yep.
But she said she stumbled across our show and she was like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I think she heard the commercial first, right?
Yeah, she was excited. She heard the commercial and she told me, she said, I just started sending it to all my friends, just letting everybody know. So yeah, spread the word,
Definitely
share, all of that. Comment. We love to hear from you. We love the letters that we're getting. This is really great.
It is.
Listen, we have a guest today. Her name is Eraka Childs, and she's from the Childs Law Firm. She serves the Houston area in family law and child custody cases. She has been practicing law in Texas since 1997. She has also served on the boards Texas Young Lawyers Association and the Houston Lawyers Association and the Houston Volunteer Lawyers Program, among others. As an experienced attorney, Eraka is dedicated to increasing the availability of legal services to financially disadvantaged individuals. You're really going to want to hear from her today.
Yeah, so we're going to speak with her as soon as we return from break, so stay tuned.
Don't go in.
Right back.
Hey, what's up, family? This is KG Smooth, and you're listening to Love in Black with Tory and Teri right here on Praise 92.1.
Ladies, fall is right around the corner, which means galas, balls, and end-of-the-year functions. What are you wearing? Valencia Couture has your evening gowns or after-5 attire that is sure to turn heads. For show-stopping formal wear that will give you a grand entrance, stop by today. We're located at 7501 Harwin Drive, Suite 104B, Houston, Texas. Valencia Couture, where formal wear is always fabulous.
I'm so tired of your narcissistic personality.
I'm tired of you not validating my feelings.
What? What about when you cheated on me with my best friend?
Mother.
Whoa, does this sound like you? Need help in resolving the most simplest of issues? I Forever Will Marriage Counseling has helped many couples overcome these challenges and many others. Contact us today at iforeverwill.com or call us at 346-349-6441. And now, back to Houston's hottest relationship advice talk show, Love in Black with Tory and Teri. This episode of Love in Black with Tory and Teri is brought to you by Gracie's Restaurant on Kirby Drive and the Carrabba's family of restaurants. If you would like to be a guest, sponsor, or advertise, contact us at info@loveinbblackwithtoryandterry.com.
And we're back. Hey, don't forget, if you want marriage or relationship counseling, all you got to do is go to our website at iforeverwill.com, click on any of the Schedule Now buttons, and also for today, the first 2 people that go there and click on the radio button. You got to click on radio, so if you see those little 3 lines or whatever, if you're on your phone, click on that, click on radio show, and just All I want you guys to do is put in Gracie's gift card in the message box after you fill out your information.
All
You
right.
guys will win. 2 people will win Gracie's gift cards today.
Oh, 2. Okay.
2.
The giving spirit. Amen. Amen.
I'm Shanny.
Today we're answering your relationship and marriage questions with our guest, Eraka Childs of the Childs Law Firm. So listen, if you want to submit a question, be a sponsor or a guest, go to our website, Love and Black with Tory, Tory, and Teri, Teri.com, and click on the booking request button and then fill out the form.
That's right. Hey, as we mentioned earlier, we do have Eraka Childs here in the studio with us today.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. How are
Glad
you?
to have you. Great, doing great.
Good,
Doing
good.
great. Thank you
So,
for inviting me.
my wife gave a little soft intro for you. Can you tell our audience who you are and what you do?
Yeah, certainly. My name is Eraka Childs. I grew up right here in Texas. I grew up in Missouri City, Willow Ridge graduate.
Oh no.
Yeah, I come from a family of family lawyers, so I've been practicing family law since 1997. I went to a Methodist school called Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas, and then came back to Houston for law school. And I started working with my father in 97, and I've been doing family law, probate law, and business law ever since. I love it. I love
Talk
it.
about passion. Wow.
Yep.
I love it.
I just got one thing against you. She went to Willow Ridge.
Ah,
went to
the
Madison.
ridge.
Here we
Oh,
go. Oh my God.
Our rivals.
And I would be sitting in the middle.
That's the only thing I got against you.
yeah, but we all met up at Brentwood or New Faith
Yeah.
or Windsor Village on
Windsor
Sundays.
Winston Village Church. Yep. That's right.
Well, I got something that's going to just have him on pause for a minute. This is just for you and
She
I.
always does.
This is rapid fire. Okay. So we're going to do our thing. This is rapid fire. And what it is I'm just going to give you some questions really briefly. They're going to go quick. And it'll give the audience a peek into who you are. Okay? You ready? Here we go. Apple or Android?
Now Apple.
Okay.
Now,
Low boots or knee-high boots?
Ooh, knee high. Yes.
obviously these are biased.
No comments. Don't
Obviously,
say
these
no.
questions
He
are
doesn't. You
biased,
guys,
so-
we're gonna bleep him out. Okay, here we go. Hats or umbrella?
Oh, hats.
You're my kind of girl.
Man.
Okay. Phone or email?
Is this what I do
This
or
is
what I
rapid
should
fire.
do?
This
Okay.
is what you like, what you prefer.
Phone.
Okay.
All right, audience.
Okay. There he goes again. I don't understand what happens. He doesn't follow instructions. Okay. Next, defend or prosecute?
Defend.
Okay. And last but not least, Breakfast Club or Turkey Hut?
Turkey leg hut.
Turkey Leg Hut. You tell.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Yes. Okay. And we love them all. We love them all. So, okay, there we go. This is definitely fun. This is our rapid fire. So, see, that wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all.
I love breakfast, so I'm biased. I
know.
love
I love them
breakfast.
both.
Breakfast,
I love them both.
brunch.
You know
I'm
what?
down.
Yeah, get with us, Turkey Leg Hut. I'm just saying. We've already got our
Okay.
little thing with Breakfast Club. Get with us.
No, we really don't like to wait in that long line. So
I don't
if
like the long
anyone's
line.
listening, and when we arrive, can you put us at the front of the line?
Yeah. Are they going to serve brunch? Maybe they can come up with a turkey brunch.
Ooh, that's
Turkey
nice.
and
Ooh, the holidays
pancake,
are coming.
Turkey and
There's
waffles.
something.
I don't-
I know, right? Turkey and waffles.
Turkey and waffles,
Ah, you better
some
get on it
mimosas.
before somebody else does.
Hey, I'm giving them some business.
mimosas.
Oh, turkey and
Turkey
waffles.
mimosas.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's good. That's
Yes,
real good.
yes. Do that at home.
I know, right? So, Erica, you mentioned a couple of different types of law that you practice, right? But what cases does your law firm manage?
We actually have a lot of family law because since the 1980s, we've been doing family law. So that's really what we're well known for. Divorces, child support cases, child custody cases. So we actually get a ton of those. Basically because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
What would you consider as your core specialty within that family law arena?
Yours.
Mine is child custody and child support.
Okay.
Child custody.
And
and
I'm
child
glad I asked you that. So it's a great segue for a couple of questions that we received from our listeners. But
We get a lot of questions.
yeah, and it was so funny because when you and I when we were talking last week, I was saying, "Oh man, I think we're gonna get a lot of guys, on this because the type of cases that you had in the past. Now, you've had one groundbreaking case. Can you talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually have had a few of the groundbreaking ones in child support and also in child custody, and some really sad child custody ones. One of them was really well known in that there was a change in the law, and that's really important that everybody understands. When we go to these legislative sessions, they're changing a ton of laws. So going in, you have to know what all is going on ahead of time. And in this particular case, there was a change of law, and then the judges started managing certain situations with enforcements differently. So, for example,
oh, sorry,
you guys
go ahead.
yeah. So if you've had, if somebody's had an enforcement case and had gotten behind, and the judge has given her or him one chance to kind of get caught up, if they go back and have fallen behind again, the judges stop giving people second, third, fourth chances. So that was very important for people to understand that it's not the old day of where you can just run down right before your court date and make a deposit. You have to make sure that you stay in communication. If you have problems like a lost job or you're sick, you need to be communicating immediately about those changes. Don't just think that it's not going to be a problem or nobody's going to notice. Start. If you know that you're going to have a downsizing at your job, you need to start reaching out to the Office of the Attorney General or to your family law lawyer and make sure that everybody, you need to communicate that with the other side. Lots of times relationships have already broken down and people don't want to tell the other side what's going on, but it does not help a person's situation not to communicate it. I communicate it in writing, certified mail, fax to everybody that needs to know, all the stakeholders, that, hey, I've had a change in my employment. Notify the district clerk if you've lost your job or you're right on, you need to write it. Change of employment, employer, none. AG, fill out the paperwork. Let the Office of the Attorney General know. If you have a private attorney, you need to call that private attorney. Like, I might need to retain your services very soon. And then figure out how you can make it happen. But don't get into a situation where you're going in front of a judge again because you've fallen behind.
Guys, listen up. That's important.
I know, right? Even though you've just stated that, right? What about the average Joe and Jane Blow that really they don't pay attention to the legislative laws that have been passed and things like that, and then they end up getting in trouble? I mean, what's their best recourse? I mean, or not even best recourse. Does the Office of the AG, do they notify people of these changes?
They don't. They don't. The Office of the Attorney General, the Child Support Division, is largely there to act as a collections agency. I mean, they keep their accountants and collections. That's really what they do. So they don't. They post things on the website, but a lot of people are just going about their day to day. They're not going on to the AG to find out.
And that's what I'm saying. You would never know unless you got stopped or picked up, or hey,
just gotta stay on
what's
top
going
of
on here?
Right. That you just won't. So that's one of the things that's important for all of us to share when we get information like you all are doing today, to share this information with individuals so that they will know if circumstances change in your life. You can be down for a little bit, but you really need to be cognizant that this is something that if you get far behind and if you're not communicating or you don't talk to them about trying to work out a plan and you be proactive, then that could really hurt. Literally, they can put you in jail and you could sit there for months.
Really?
Months.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is just like when we talk to our counselor.
It's of low, priority. So you would sit there for months before your case actually.
And your kids, you're not going to be picking up your kids. You're not going to be able to look for a new job. You're just sitting there.
It's a huge setback. Yeah, we talk to our counselors all the time about communications, and you just said it like 3 or 4 times. So it's very important that they communicate with the Office of the AG or it's child enforcement. I've been in Maryland and Virginia for a number of years, so I'm not sure what they call it here in Texas. But
enforcement, the contempt case.
Interesting.
So it's really, really important to start those communications. One of the difficult things with the Office of the Attorney General cases would be that for many of those cases, the parents, a few of them may have been married and long-term couples, but for a lot of the Office of the Attorney General cases, there's situations in which children have received Medicaid or some other form of assistance, and that's how they land into the system. Not necessarily that a mother or father went to the AG's office seeking the help.
But one of the parents were left off of the forms.
Or they applied for Medicaid.
Apply for Medicaid.
Yeah,
and
when
that's
the
how.
when the babies were born, they needed Medicaid, and that's how they get into the Office of the Attorney General system. And a lot of times, those families, they're not what we call just regular nuclear families where mom and daddy lived in the same household. Sometimes they are, and their income is at a certain level, but oftentimes the parents aren't really a couple anymore. And so you have people that already have these problems communicating.
We know all about that.
You know, and so then you have all these other issues about pickups, drop-offs, money issues, and oftentimes one of the parents might have children with other people, so they're having to deal with those situations, and they're trying to take care, spend time with their kids and try to get a job. And it's just a cycle of, it's really complicated, and it can be very depressing. So the communication, all those things that you all work with people on, it just starts breaking down, and they don't talk.
So do people come to you, not necessarily wanting a divorce, but do you mediate those types of situations where people come in and say, look, our marriage just isn't working, we're on the verge of divorce?
Right.
And a lot of times I know, in our real world, we would want to say, hey, send them to us, right?
Yeah.
But, how do you guys work with couples like that?
Well, she does the children. You were saying you do.
Yeah, I do a lot of the children. Actually, the divorces, when it gets time for them to come to us, oftentimes they've gone to a counselor. The ones that are open to counseling, they've gone to a counselor, whether it's been one affiliated with their church or try to talk with, counselors individually. Sometimes they've gone together. And lots of times, sometimes there are people that are just stubborn and they don't think that anything's wrong, or maybe they're settled, or maybe they're really afraid that the other person will leave. Sometimes people sabotage one another.
Yeah, we did that a lot.
Maybe they don't want their wife to go and get her hair done, or maybe she keeps making him big old 5 cheese macaronis and because she likes, she didn't want him to be all what he used to be.
That is comedy. I love it. I don't love it, but you know what I mean? But I can totally relate to it because we deal with this. And even when, when we think in terms of talking about counseling and families, we do family counseling to try to get everybody on one accord, because you've got parents going through their thing, you've got kids going through their thing. Kids are aware that their parents are going through it, and the parents are trying to keep it from the kids and stay together for the sake of the kids.
But these
and
ears
it's just
have walls.
it's
They hear
just a
everything.
horrible situation. And so we do offer family counseling too. But what you said, and you kind of hinted towards the fact that you have a case that has been, that it went kind of public and was a big deal. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or
Well, I can tell you as much as
you
he
can,
allowed me
yeah,
to share.
Yeah, but just kind of giving our audience
Sure.
a peek into your skill, your
Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah, certainly. A gentleman had gone to court, not with me, but with another lawyer, and he had gotten behind, and he had made a payment right before. And when he went to court, the court had looked at the record and seen that he had contempts previously. And then the court was like, okay, he had made the payment. Like, I did make the payment, I have the receipt. Okay, when did you make the payment? He had just made it within that 24 hours, and she put him in jail. And I said, okay, let me look at the file. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe there's some things that could be done. And then I realized, what had happened. And that was, he went up there and made the payment. And we did further investigations. And here was one of the problems. He had an employer, and that employer, he thought, was taking money and sending it to the registry. But instead of paying attention to paycheck stubs and it had not been done. So one of the lessons from that is, if you think you're supposed to have a wage withholding order, make sure that it's hitting. And then not only that, but sometimes you'll get a wage withholding order, and an employer will take it out of an employee's check and then it won't ever be reflected on the record. So what do you do when that happens? So if you're working for a big old company, like and this wasn't the company, but let's say Centerpoint or something like that, then okay, Centerpoint's going to be there, right? It's 10 years from now,
Right.
it might have another name, but it's going to be there. But if you're working for another company and then they're gone, what do? The court's going to hold you accountable for making sure you have all those
ultimately
records.
the responsibility is yours.
Wow.
Yeah. So the poor guy had actually sat in jail for a little while, and then I came and did a motion for reconsideration and a few other arguments that we had to make in front of the court, and she released him. But he could have easily sat there 180 days, or even if he had time, some credit time, he could have sat there over 30.
You know what? I'm going to jump to one of our questions because it's like you must have read my notes.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this one
Is that what
gentleman,
we have here?
yeah, this one gentleman wrote, I was picked up on a warrant for not paying child support, even though I showed proof of my pay stubs to the officers and emails back and forth with child support enforcement. They said they haven't received my payments. Why would I be charged when I have proof that I have been paying?
Right, exactly. And it might have been that maybe there was, we call it a CAPIAS when it's child support here in Texas. CAPIAS is a warrant. They might have issued a warrant and then in the past, and then the paperwork was never completed to get it withdrawn. So it's kind of like if you have a ticket and you win, or let's say you thought you paid something and then a cop stops you and they're like, oh, you have a rule. And you're like, what do you mean I paid that? It's the same thing.
That's what it appears to happen here. He may have gotten
Yeah.
on a traffic stop or something, and
Yeah.
he had his, he said he had his pay stubs and
That you paid
emails.
it. Yep. You can
Doesn't
have it that
matter,
you
huh?
paid it, and then, but if that paperwork isn't processed,
Is it up to
then
the
it's-
judge?
The judge can sign it, but remember you have all those people touching, especially back in the day before we had everything electronically.
Right.
Everything, they were touching, and it has to move it along the system. And even now,
Slow boat.
even though we have everything electronically, right, they can sign it and then move it to somebody's, we call it the queue, or other people call it inbox.
Inbox.
And then
yes,
what if
they
it's
can
just sitting there?
Yes.
So you have to really be on that, because
Listen to
that
me,
could
a
mess
lot of
up.
emails, all
manual.
that.
That can mess up your whole day.
Absolutely.
And if you've ever had any family friends in Harris County jail, it takes a good 12 to 24 hours to process the person out. Even if that warrant should not have been there, you still got to process
My
out.
Goodness.
So that's a whole nother work day, 2 work days, what have you, just to get somebody out who shouldn't have been in there.
First place.
So we have to make sure that we follow up on those payments, make sure that they're credited correctly.
Okay, I got another one for you. Now listen, this one is, the guy says, I paid child support for a child that I recently found out she wasn't mine. I consider her my bio daughter, even though I know now that she isn't mine. Do I have any rights to take her mother to court without dragging our daughter through all of the mess?
Now, how old is she?
That's all we got.
That's all.
we
Okay.
got. She's a child, so she's a minor.
Okay, so the first thing that we try to tell people is have your children, if it matters to you, if it's going to matter, have your children genetically tested. If it doesn't matter to you, because some people it doesn't. Some people know that they had breaks, they know what the odds are. They're like, this is my child,
Sure.
this is it, I don't want anybody else. And so unless another guy comes in within a certain amount of time and claims the child or puts the child on paternity registry,
How often does that happen?
very rare, but sometimes it does happen.
Right.
Sometimes there is the other guy who was jilted, or maybe he thought that the relationship was going to be something, and then the woman went back to her husband or whoever she was with long term.
Sure.
And so the guy's mad, and he wants to play a role in his child's life. He doesn't want to be just shut out. It's kind of like that song. I wish I never met her. What was the guy?
Yeah. I mean, does he have any recourse in
with this gentleman? If he finds out, usually we have like a 2-year statute of limitations on it. So 2 years from the time that you have knowledge of it is the general. There's some more things in it, but generally you have about 2 years from when you find out.
Okay,
but
so there is something, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the
So
difficulty.
this is legit.
Yeah, depending also on the child's age. For example, if the child's 10, 12 years old and somebody's been playing the role of the dad and, then all of a sudden a 12-year-old, they're talking about terminating, probably is not going to fly, right? But if you're talking about like a 1-year-old or,
I see.
Okay, so it has to be young. So I guess the bottom line is, even though you don't want to, I mean, you should be able to trust your spouse without having to get a DNA test.
Yeah.
So get Dana, y'all. Call Dana.
Get it, because it's better to know early and up front, right?
Sure.
And so that way you can make decisions on what you want to do, Yeah, definitely. And also for people that are married have that decision they have to make, but also people who are unmarried, definitely make it. Just because somebody calls and says that they're pregnant, okay, still be supportive. Still, if you're a couple, be there by all means, but definitely get a genetic test, because you don't want it to be where a year later you break up and then, well, how do I know? Well, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, we get that. Yeah, we get that. Yeah, we get that often.
So what was the result? She's mine. Oh, remember that?
They're going here with these movies. Yeah. Movies and songs today. This is radio.
So I have one more audience. We had several, but only picked 3 for time purposes. The last one: how can I find an attorney that focuses on fathers' rights, or even is there a specialized type of attorney?
Some people may say they do, but here's the thing: the law in general is very neutral. Here's what really matters. If someone asks, because I represent a lot of guys, here's what really matters is when it comes to child custody, how involved are you? Do you know your children's teachers?
Absolutely.
Are you volunteering at the school?
PTA.
Do you know
Hands on.
Are you there? Are you a band? In the booster club? Are you? What all are you? As far as church, are you taking them to church? Are you there? When it's time to go to Sunday school, making sure they get there. Do you know their doctor? When was the last time they went to the dentist? When,
exactly.
what happened last time they went to the dentist? It's about being. And when they say father's rights are the same as mother's rights, and that you have the right to have this information and to be there.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
I've really enjoyed you. Can you tell our audience how to get in touch with you?
Yes, certainly. I can be reached at 281-756-7116.
Love it.
And you have an email? I'm not email, but website that
We do. www.childslawfirm.com.
Great. Hey, we loved having you today. And
Thank you for having me.
guys,
I hate that we run out of time.
I know I hate that we run out of time as well. Hey guys, remember, if you have a letter that you want to submit or a topic for a show, please don't forget to hit us up on Lovin' Black with Tory and Teri.com. Fill out the radio show link request, and we'll get you guys hooked up. All right.
Okay, you guys. We'll see you next week right here on Praise. Remember, make love, not war. Have a great weekend.
This episode of Lovin' Black with Tory and Teri is brought to you by Gracie's Restaurant on Kirby Drive and the Carrabba's family of restaurants. If you would like to be a guest, sponsor, or advertise, contact us at info@lovinblackwithtoriandterry.com.